Come on in, y'all. We have 4 easy to make Southern side dishes that your family and friends will love. You know I'll show you how to put it all together. Be sure to thumbs up the video, leave your girl a comment, and subscribe for the deliciousness. Let's get into it. Take off. First up, we have some delicious speckled butter beans. A delicious addition to any meal, easy to make, and you know I'll show you how to put it together. Let's get into it. I'll be using this 28-ounce bag of speckled butter beans, some garlic, onions. I'll be using some smoked turkey tails. You can use any smoked meat that you prefer. So I'm going to start this. Go ahead and add some water. Gonna let this come up to a boil and let this cook for about an hour before I add in my beans. But if you're going to be using smoked ham hocks, I will let my smoked ham hocks cook for about 2 hours to 2.5 hours before you add in your beans. Our meat's been cooking now for about an hour. I'm going to go ahead and add in our speckled butter beans. They are still frozen. Going to go in with some garlic, an onion, and I have 1/4 of a teaspoon of thyme, and I have 1/4 of a teaspoon of celery salt. Gonna go in with some of my no salt, all-purpose seasoning, seasoning your taste, and going in with some Tony's. Just want to get us a mix. We're gonna let this come up to a boil. Now, once your beans come up to a boil, you want to go ahead and turn that heat down to like a medium and continue to let the beans cook, coming in periodically and giving them a stir. And after about 45 minutes of cooking, the beans are nice and tender. I don't like mine to go too long because I don't like them to be too mushy. But you cook them how you like them. Turkey tails got nice and tender. You want to taste and adjust your seasonings. And that's it, and that's all it is to it, y'all. Speckled butter beans. Take a bite. Now this next dish is a fried corn dish. Not a whole lot of ingredients. Let's get into it. For my ingredients, I'll be using 2 12-ounce packs of frozen corn. You can use fresh corn or you can use the canned corn. I have a jalapeno, a bell pepper, garlic, and cilantro. Let's go ahead and get started. I have about 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Gonna go in with my jalapeno and my bell pepper. Really easy recipe, y'all, but it's so good. I'm gonna let these saute a bit, like maybe 5 minutes. Gonna add a touch of Tony's and give it a mix. I decided to go ahead and add some onions. So just continue to let it cook down for a moment. And after about 5 minutes, go in with your garlic. Y'all know I use like 6 cloves. And you can use like 3. We're gonna work this in for about a minute. Now we can go ahead and add in your corn. Gonna season it up with some of my no salt, all-purpose, and a touch more Tony's. You just want to get us a mix. Now you want to let this corn fry up for about 10 minutes. Make sure that you keep stirring it. And after about 10 to 12 minutes, the corn is ready. You want to taste and adjust your seasoning. Now I like to finish it with some cilantro, but you can use parsley. Make sure your heat is off and give it a good mix. Super easy side dish to make, yet delicious. Look at that. Look how pretty it looks. It smells so good. And that's it, and that's all it is to it, y'all. Our next recipe, lima beans, butter beans, whatever you want to call it, we making it. Let's get started. And I'll be using 1 pound of lima beans. You do want to pick through your lima beans, sort them out, remove any rocks that you may see. Now the beans that may have split or cracked, like that one there, I like to leave those in there. For me, it just adds to the creaminess of the beans. And I'll be using some bell peppers, onions, and celery, and a jalapeno that I deseeded, and a jalapeno that's optional. And I have the Alabama Conecuh sausage. And if you know, you know. But feel free to use any sausage that you like. Now this is a pork sausage, but you can use beef, chicken, whatever you prefer. I'll be using some fire roasted tomatoes. Now we gotta have about 5 cloves of garlic and a bay leaf. I have my ham hocks back here that I've already cooked up in about 8 cups of water. That's gonna be our stock. and I'll show you how to put it all together. We're going to start off by browning off our sausage. We're going to get this nice and brown on each side. And once your sausage gets nice and brown, you can go ahead and remove it. Now we can go ahead and saute up our onions, celery, and bell peppers. You want to get this nice and mixed in. That sausage develops some nice fond at the bottom. But as we're sweating it out of vegetables, that's going to help that fond release. So make sure you're scraping the bottom of your pot. We're going to let this get nice and soft for about 7 minutes. Next, we're going to go in with our garlic. I'm going to go ahead and add in the jalapeno and the bay leaf also. Going to mix this in for about 1 minute. That garlic will be nice and fragrant. House is smelling amazing. You can go ahead and add in your beans. And this here's the stock that we made from the ham hocks. And remember, I put my ham hocks in a pot with 8 cups of water. I let the ham hocks cook down for about 1.5 hours. And this is the stock. We're going to add that in. I'm adding in 4 more cups of water. You can use chicken broth, chicken stock. You want enough liquid in here for your beans to cook. I'm going to add back in my ham hocks and let the ham hocks finish cooking. Adding in some of my all-purpose no salt seasoning. I don't add salt to my beans until the end because salt hinders the cooking process of the beans. So right now I'll just go in with some of my no salt seasoning. Get these beans nice and seasoned up. Fire roasted tomatoes. Also going to add back in my sausage. Give that a mix. Look how delicious this is looking. Now we're going to put a lid on this. You want to bring this up to a boil and reduce your heat down to a simmer. We're going to let this cook until our beans are nice and tender. Come back periodically and give it a stir. Check your liquid level. Make sure you have enough in here to cook your beans. And I'll come back and show y'all the llamas. Coming in to get these beans a check, you guys. We're going to get these nice and stirred. Look at that. Beans are getting tender. We're going to place the lid back on and continue to let these cook. Remember to come in and stir your beans periodically and check your broth level. Make sure everything is looking good. And here it is, y'all. Lima beans with sausage. I will remove my ham hocks and shred the meat off and add the meat back into my pot. And you can use whatever kind of smoked meat that you have on hand. Look how delicious. And my beans took about 2 hours or so to cook. I did remove the lid the last 15 minutes of cooking. That helps thicken it up a little bit. And look at this. Serve this up on top of some rice. And we in business. Now it's the time to go ahead and season this up. I'll be using some Tony's. Go ahead and taste, adjust the seasonings, remove the bay leaf. That's it, and that's all it is to it, y'all. Creole rice is what's on the menu today. This is one of the best side items to serve at your next holiday get-together, your family gatherings, potlucks. This is it. Ingredients, I'll be using 2 cups of parboiled rice. I have about 4 garlic cloves minced, 1 bay leaf. I'll be using a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies, chicken broth, onion, celery, and bell pepper, and some bacon. And y'all already know, I'll show you how to put this all together. Let's get into it. Now to get started, first you want to go ahead and crisp up your bacon. So we're going to add that in. Going to let this get nice and brown and crispy. Now once your bacon gets nice and crispy, you can go ahead and remove it, skillet. And that's about a tablespoon of bacon fat. You do want a little bit of that bacon fat left in here because that's what we're going to saute up the bell peppers, celery, and onions. Now, if you have more than a tablespoon, go ahead and remove some of that bacon fat. I'm going to season this up with some of my all-purpose. You want to get this a mix. Make sure you're scraping the bottom to remove the brown bits. The deliciousness that's at the bottom of your skillet. We're going to let these cook for 5 minutes. Next, you want to go in with the bay leaf and the garlic. We're going to mix this in for 1 minute. And remember, y'all, full list of ingredients will be down in the description box. This is an absolute must-have for my holidays. If you come to my house for the holidays, this is guaranteed to be on the table. You want to go ahead and put in your rice. I like to mix this in for about a minute. You want to get it nice and coated in that bacon fat. And it's a simple dish, y'all. So simple and easy, but it's so good. And you can eat this all by itself. Now, after you have it worked in, go ahead and add in your diced tomatoes. Give it a mix. Add in your chicken broth. This is 2 cups of rice, so I'm using 4 cups of chicken broth. Give this a slight mix. Gonna add a touch of Tony's to this. Y'all season to your liking. Remember, bacon is salty, so just be mindful of your salt. And look at that, y'all. It looked like the holidays. So you just want to put a lid on this and let the rice cook. And I'll come back and show y'all the rice. This is ready. Look at that. You want to go ahead and add in your bacon that we cooked up. I saved some to garnish the top. Mix back in the bacon. Remove that bay leaf. Look at that, y'all. Look so good. This is so delicious. I'm telling you, this will be a hit at your holiday table. And here it is, y'all. I just garnished it with some bacon and green onions on top. And that's it, and that's all, y'all. 4 delicious, easy recipes that your family and friends will love. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Be sure to thumbs up the video, leave your girl a comment, and subscribe for the deliciousness. Happy Friday, and y'all know the vibes. Be blessed.